Revenge films.
My name is Allie. My husband is the typical Anna husband. Anna husband is the type of husband who ends up becoming the enemy of the wife. It's a word combining enemy and husband. A husband should always be on the wife's side, so it's very hard for me every day to fight against him. I live with my husband and his mother. We don't have children. It might be common for the wife and mother-in-law to have problems in their relationship, but our relationship was actually worsening over the years despite trying my best to get closer to her. One of the biggest reasons was my husband's actions. My husband was an elite salaryman who worked at a trading company, probably because he's part of large projects that are worth billions. He doesn't care about what happens at home. He would be on his mother's side and go with the flow. As a result, his mother started believing that she was better than me. I work an administrative job as a full-time employee until noon. I came home after shopping for groceries. His mother makes me keep track of the expenses, so I always keep the receipts. My mother-in-law got furious seeing the receipt. It turns out that the soy sauce from another supermarket was 10 cents cheaper. Check the flyers every morning. You must have time in the morning to do at least that. Can you not even read, you stupid? She yelled at me. She scolded me for about an hour. These things happened on a daily basis. I talked to my husband about it when he came home around dinner time. Hey, I've been telling you this so many times already, but can you talk to your mother?
Talk about what?
Looking bored, he was taking off his suit, changing into his comfy set of clothes. I work full-time and I do all the housework. In my busy life, you should understand how tiring it is to listen to her scold me for so long.
I bet you talked back to her. That's what makes it long. Come on, how long has it been since you moved in with Mom? Isn't it about time you get used to her personality?
Wait a minute, are you blaming me?
I never said that. First of all,
he said as he sighed in an exaggerated manner.
I just took part in a project worth billions today at work. Why do I have to get involved in a tiny argument about soy sauce being cheaper at a different supermarket? Deal with those yourself.
This is a family problem. I am your wife. And it's your mother who scolds me every day for nearly an hour. The reason was relatively understandable this time, but there are times when it absolutely makes no sense. First of all, she insists that soy sauce was cheaper at another supermarket, but she says she already got rid of the flyers, so I don't even know if she's telling the truth.
A waste of time?
He spat and went to eat dinner. I know that it annoys him to listen to these stories after coming home tired, but I also have a full-time job. I think it's great that he's part of a project worth billions and that he's proud of himself to do something that would affect the whole country. But that doesn't mean he can ignore about what happens in the household. In the end, my husband never said a thing to his mother during dinner. He ended up siding with his mother after listening to her complaints about me.
Then Allie should always check the flyers every morning before going to work every day. That should solve everything.
I prepared breakfast for all of us, prepare your lunchbox, and prepare her lunch every morning on my own. Do you think I have time for that?
You must be used to it by now. You think you don't have time because you make yourself believe so. Time is something you make. You have to make time by yourself.
Make time? What the hell?
You're so dumb. I meant that you could wake up 10 minutes early to check the flyers. You don't even understand what I meant. You must be really stupid.
He laughed at me, and his mother also joined him. That night I asked my husband once again before going to sleep, "Why do you always take your mother's side? Why do you always look down on me and laugh at me?"
Here you go again. Hey, let me be clear. We might have some problems, but our household is pretty peaceful.
Huh?
I hear it's common for the wife and mother-in-law to be in a state of Cold War and not talking to each other. So you have a good relationship with her where you can talk to each other about anything.
I was shocked. Is he for real?
They say it's the most stressful when you have to hold in your frustration. Both you and my mom are the types to say everything in a straightforward way, so I bet you aren't stressed at all.
Are you serious? Of course I'm stressed out.
My mom has no bad intentions, so just let it go. You take everything so seriously and try to fight back, so that's what makes everything so complicated.
So you're saying that it's my fault?
I'm not. I'm just saying that you should get used to it.
You're a typical Anna husband.
Anna husband?
Because you always act like this.
Our family is peaceful. We eat meals together every day, and you get to say everything on your mind. In other households...
I really have a hard time because of your mother. We're not just saying things on our minds, we're just insulting each other. I really hate your mother, and I bet your mother feels the same.
Really? You always argue about the smallest things with her, so I assumed you were very close with her, and that's the reason why you fought with her. I understand now.
My husband finally understood me. Things should change starting the next day. I believed it would, but nothing changed in the next week. Hey, I thought you finally understood me.
Oh, is it about you calling me Ene husband and saying mean things to me?
He laughed as if to look down on me.
I said at my office, I guess I'm an Ene husband. Makes me upset. I asked for their advice, but then they ended up laughing at me. Allie looks normal, but turns out she's the type to overthink. They said to me, you must be having a hard time.
My husband smirked.
The guys at my office said that apart from having affairs and using up all the money, I can ignore things like complaints about taste and which supermarkets have cheaper products.
The reason why your colleagues reacted that way is because you don't sound serious in the way you said it. Do you understand how it makes me feel to have people complain about my cooking and housework every day? In the end, my husband never took it seriously. The day I decided to get a divorce was on my birthday. After we got married, my husband never gave me any birthday presents. By the way, I never received anything from my mother-in-law. I decided to celebrate my birthday on my own because I knew I wouldn't get a single cake. To reward myself, I bought a pearl necklace that I always wanted. We both worked full-time, but I did all the housework, and I endured all the insults by my mother-in-law while I saved up my money little by little to buy the necklace. My mother-in-law said to me after she saw the necklace, "Cast not pearls before swine. I guess she still wants to look pretty despite being a middle-aged hag," she said to everyone in the neighborhood. During dinner on my birthday, I talked back with tears in my eyes, but my husband laughed at me.
Cast not pearls before swine. You're good with words, Mom.
I was frustrated, humiliated, and I started crying. Then my husband said to me coldly,
You take things too personally. Seeing you cry makes the food taste bad. Go cry somewhere else. Don't cry because of a teeny tiny argument.
How come you feel nothing about your wife being called a middle-aged hag? You're not only horrible as a human being, but you're also a horrible husband. I got a divorce because of moral harassment. He only paid me $5,000 as compensation, but he kept on claiming his innocence. But people in the neighborhood saw me crying alone outside on my birthday. In the end, his friends and colleagues all took my side. I feel sorry for his ex-wife. He's such a horrible human being. It makes me irritated just to hear his story. My ex-husband, who lacked common sense, was destroyed. He started making mistakes at work out of stress, and I heard a rumor that he might be fired soon. To relieve their stress, he started having fierce arguments with his own mother. I really didn't care now about how my ex-husband and his mother would end up.
How was today's video? If you enjoyed it, please subscribe, like, and leave a comment. Stay tuned for more.